Hello, everybody. My name is Todd, and welcome to the CINCILINGUA membership program. It's a pleasure to have you with me here today on our platform, on our program here. As many of you probably know, CINCILINGUA is a language institute, and it is a language institute located here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio is located in the Midwestern region of the United States of America. And again, it's great to have you here as members of our program here, of our platform. And so with this lesson video, we will be continuing our series dedicated to idiomatic expressions, or more simply, just called idioms. And yeah, so we're moving on into our first idiom for this lesson, and that is to look at. To look at is a very good example of what we call a phrasal verb. In English, we have many phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs basically are verbs that are followed by at least one preposition, usually one preposition, sometimes two, but usually one. And phrasal verbs are kinds of idioms. And again, we have many of them, and this is a good example of one. We have look, and then that's followed by the preposition at there. Okay, so to look at, it means to focus attention on, or to watch. So in this picture, this lady is looking at herself in the mirror. And she is looking at herself in the mirror. She is focusing her attention on herself in the mirror. Okay, and here we have an example sentence. Never look at your phone while you are driving. Never look at your phone while you are driving, like this young man is apparently doing. Maybe he's parked and not actually driving, but okay. So yeah, and here the verb look in this phrasal verb is a regular verb. And so the base form is look, and the simple past form is looked. It has that ed ending there, as all of our regular verbs do in the simple past form. And also in the past participle form, we have that ed ending. And this is true of all of our regular verbs. So it's look, looked, looked. The pronunciation of the simple past form and the past participle form is the same. Okay? All right. So moving on now to another example sentence. I love to look at my family's photo album. I love to look at my family's photo album. We have the young lady there looking at the photo album. Okay. Now we will move on to another idiom here, and that is face to face. Face to face, and basically means in person. In person. And here's a very good picture of two people face to face. They are having a face-to-face conversation in person. Okay. Example sentence here. It is nice to have a face-to-face meeting instead of doing business online. It is nice to have a face-to-face meeting instead of doing business online. So these people are meeting face-to-face in person. It's not an online. So for example, we are not literally face-to-face right now because this is an online meeting and discussion. And it's also a lesson video, so it's not live actually, but If you ever have the opportunity to participate in our Live and Learn program, you can meet the teachers here and work with them face to face. Okay. Now we have to stand up, and again, we have a phrasal verb here, and this phrasal verb, this idiom, it means to rise from a sitting or lying position. So it's the action of rising from a sitting or lying position. Okay, now, to stand up. Our example here, Scott helped his friend to stand up. Scott helped his friend to stand up. So his friend is currently sitting, and he's helping him to rise to a standing position. So he's helping him stand up, helping him to stand up. And here in our phrasal verb, our idiom, we have an irregular verb. Okay, so the base form here is stand. Our simple past form is stood, and our past participle form is also stood. So it's stand, stood, stood. Stand, stood, stood. And we have another example here. Ben stood up on his surfboard for the first time today. Ben stood up on his surfboard for the first time today. So, in other words, in the past, Ben had not been able to stand up. He had been in a kind of a lying position, probably lying flat on his stomach, or maybe a kneeling position. But today, for the first time, he stood. He rose and stood on the surfboard. Okay. Next idiom is also a phrasal verb, and it is to back up. To back up. That means to move in reverse. To move in reverse. Okay. We have an example here. Please back up so that the door doesn't hit you. Please back up so that the door doesn't hit you. Please move in reverse. Please go backward. You could say, please go backward so that the door doesn't hit you. The verb back here is a regular verb. So the base form is back. The simple past form is backed with the ed, and the past participle form is backed with the ed. Back, backed, backed. Okay. All right. So we have looked at 4 idiomatic expressions in this lesson video. We began by looking at to look at. So we looked at to look at, and we said that to look at means to focus attention on, or to watch. You know, so you're focusing your attention on something. You are looking at something. Okay, so for example, right now I am looking at the slide in front of me, which has the review of the idioms that we have just looked at. Okay, and then we looked at face to face. Face to face means in person. In person. Face to face. So we talk about face to face meetings, face to face conversations, and things like that. In person. And then we looked at to stand up. To stand up means to rise from a sitting or a lying position to a standing position. To rise from a sitting or a lying position to a standing position. Okay. And then to back up means to go in reverse or to go backward. Okay. To back up, to go backward, or to go in reverse. Okay, so we are reviewing. So we backed up and we just reviewed very briefly these 4 idioms that we discussed. Okay, so all right, well, we're going to wrap up this this lesson video. Before doing so, I want to wish you a wonderful remainder of your day. Again, I want to thank you for your attendance here today, and I thank you also for your attention. I'm certainly looking forward to continuing to work with you as we continue with our series here, our current series in video, or in idiomatic expressions. And of course, we have and will have more and more lesson video series coming your way, and I'm hoping that that you'll be able to join me in those as well. So with that, I'm signing off from Cincinnati, Ohio. And again, thank you for your attendance. Bye-bye.